Hi everyone, my name is Alexander Walton, and I'm really excited to dive right into this LSAT logical reasoning passage with you. Alright, so this question comes from Test 151, Section 2, Question 18. So let's just dive right in. So it begins, in grasslands near the Namib Desert, there are fairy circles, large circular patches that are entirely devoid of vegetation. Let's just pause right there. So part of my strategy for diving into a logical reasoning question is to go sentence by sentence, always pause and know what I might need to do or anticipate where the question might be going and what we might need to do. So here, there are a bunch of facts they're throwing at me. Grasslands, Namib Desert, fairy circles, circular patches. It's not super complicated, but it is a series of things I'm going to need to hold together in my mind. I think the most simple way I can do it is just to think, okay, grasslands, we all know what that is. It's near a desert. There are these weird things called fairy circles moving around, which is just a patch. There's nothing growing. So my first prediction might be that the question is trying to get me to explain why this is happening. Either why it's happening or why it's only happening in a certain place, or maybe there's a strategy that is going to be employed by farmers or a corporation or a government to stop it from happening. There's a bunch of different ways that the question can go, but I think we should just keep reading and we'll get some more information. All right, so the second sentence reads, since sand termite colonies were found in every fairy circle they investigated, scientists hypothesized that it is the burrowing activity of these termites that caused the circles to form. Okay, so there's a few things that I'm thinking about right now. The first one is that on the LSAT, whenever there's a hypothesis, we often want to challenge it. We want to grant the premises, but we might want to dispute the conclusion. So it might be the case that these sand termites are doing their thing, they're burrowing, they're just doing what termites do, but that's not what's causing the fairy circles. It might be that there's something else. Maybe there's the presence of a chemical in the soil or in the ground that's attracting the sand termites, but is also causing the fairy circles. Or maybe it's a weird weather pattern, or maybe it's the migration of elephants or giraffes, or there's an endless series of possibilities. We don't really know for sure what it might be, but there's a bunch of things that we can anticipate. Broadly, when we put this entire set of facts together, my guess is that we're going to try and find a way to either strengthen the relationship between the burrowing of the termites and the phenomenon of the fairy circle, or we're going to try to dispute it. We're going to say, no, leave the termites alone. It's not their fault. It's something else. So let's go directly into the question. It's going to tell us what to do, and we'll know a little bit more. So the question is telling us which one of the following, if true, most supports the scientist's hypothesis. All right, so one of my predictions did come true. We're going to try and strengthen this relationship. So we're trying to draw a strong connection between the phenomenon of the termites underground burrowing and the lack of grass above them in these weird circular patterns. So let's just go into the answer choices. So the first one says, dying grass plants within newly forming fairy circles are damaged only at the roots. Okay, so this is an interesting answer choice. As I read it, I think it's trying to get me to understand that the termites are underground, they're burrowing, and when these fairy circles are forming, the damage we see begins below ground, only below ground. So this is ruling out a bunch of things. It's saying it's not probably like a chemical above ground. It's not animal grazing. It's not a human migration pattern or whether no. It's something going on below ground. And in the facts that we had before we go into the answer choices, it told us that the termites are underground, burrowing. So this is drawing a relationship. I want to put it as a contender. I think, for one, it's always good not to just rush into an answer choice and to read everything. But also, I think it's possible that the termites could be burrowing, but them not really chewing at the roots. I think that's the image we're supposed to get. It could be that something else is doing that and they're just sort of related, but they're not causing each other. But I like this answer choice, but I want to see if anything might be a little bit better. Okay, so B says, the grasses that grow around fairy circles are able to survive even the harshest and most prolonged droughts in the region. Okay, I don't really like this answer choice either. It's giving me a lot of facts about the grass, but we're not looking for facts about the grass. We're looking for information about why these termites are running around underground, burrowing, and you have a lack of grass above. This is telling us that, oh, well, when there's droughts, they're able to survive. It's not drawing a relationship between subterranean activity and the phenomenon of a lack of vegetation. So let's cross it out. C. The soil in fairy circles typically has higher water content than the soil in areas immediately outside the circles. I don't like this answer choice either. It's telling me about the soil, which is all good and fine. It's telling me about water content, which was not in the facts before the answer choices. So I'm saying that's just irrelevant. It's a wild goose chase. It is not saying anything about the activity of termites. That's the relationship we're looking for. Let's cross it out. D. Fairy circles tend to form in areas that already have numerous other fairy circles. I don't really like this one either. It's telling me something about fairy circles that they develop near other fairy circles. That's great, but we're looking for why this is occurring. Why is it that these fairy circles are occurring? And more to the point, there's a specific why that we're trying to further prove, which is that, okay, the scientists are saying it's termites. We want to affirm that relationship. This is not helping us do that. Let's cross that out. E. Species of animals that feed on sand termites are often found living near fairy circles. I'm not really liking this answer choice either. And we need to be very, very careful here because I'm pretty sure that this is a trap answer choice. This is trying to get us to recognize that there's a relationship between the termites and the phenomenon, the fairy circle, which is close but not quite what we're looking for. We're looking for not just the presence of termites, but that termites burrowing underground is the reason that stuff is not gone above ground. This is strengthening the relationship that termites live near fairy circles, but it's not telling us why that's the case. And it's doing that through these predators that are living there. But for all we know, the predators are attracted to the fairy circle for some other reason. Maybe there's a water source they all need to access, and that's why they live near them. So, though I might pause with E, I'm not going to be fooled by it. Scratch it out. I'm pretty confident that A is my answer. I think that my approach to this problem reflects the LSAT Demons methodology because I tried to make it as simple as possible. I read very carefully, I read sentence by sentence, I tried to predict the answer and how we might answer the question, and then I maintained a very high standard for what the answer choice might look like, and I was not fooled by any trap questions. So the LSAT Demon really, really helped me. I was able to score a 174 on the August 2025 LSAT, so I want to pay that forward and help other people. I